Hey there, fancy running into you. So update, we are just on the other side of the border of Saskatchewan and Manitoba. We had somewhat of an eventful 2 days-ish. I think the last time I updated you, we were in North Dakota. So since then, we have crossed the border, obviously, and are in Canada. We headed to Medicine Hat, Alberta, to meet up with one of Cowan's other drivers to switch trailers again, to head back east again. And we are, sorry. Oh, hello there, fancy running into you again. So, update. Last time I think we updated you, we were in North Dakota. So since then, we have crossed the border back into Canada. And currently we are at the Alberta and, that's wrong. The Saskatchewan and Manitoba border. We just crossed into Manitoba. And we're driving east, obviously. So basically, between the last clip and now, we drove to meet one of Cowan's other drivers in Medicine Hat to switch trailers again, to go east again. So we did that last night. Slept there because we were both starving and exhausted. And apparently last night, I talked in my sleep and was a complete disaster of a bedmate with Steven, and decided to hit him and snack him and lay on top of him and pretty much be the worst possible person to sleep beside, right, Steven?
Right.
So that happened, and then this morning we got on the road and we got up really early because we went to bed early because we were exhausted and we need to eat and everything. So we went to bed super early last night because we're still on East Coast time, even though we were only in Alberta, which is only 1 hour ahead. We feel like it's 3 hours ahead, so we went to bed early and got up really early. And I told Steven that my reward for getting up at technically 4:30 in the morning would be to go get Tim Hortons, because some little genius decided to not plug the cooler in yesterday at all. So I went to make dinner and went to go grab the margarine out of the refrigerator cooler and find that the milk is making the cooler stink like sour milk. Well done there, smarty pants. You're such a smarty.
Oh, yes, I am.
So he couldn't have his cereal in the morning, so turns out that the whole Tim Hortons idea was the best idea. So we had that this morning, and we pulled over to get Tim Hortons, and Steven goes to grab his spare keys and his wallet, and there's no wallet. Dun dun dun.
It was terrible.
Yeah, suffice it to say, it was not the best way to start a morning. So luckily, my brain of deduction remembered that the last place he would have taken it out of this truck was in Morse, Saskatchewan, which is on the eastern side of Swift Current-ish. So off we went to go get his wallet, and I'm even more of a smarty, and because I remembered the city, I googled the city and the Esso that it was at. He didn't even go in to buy anything, so I don't understand why he needs to bring his wallet to places where he's not buying things. If he really has an issue, he could just lock it in the lockbox. But no, he has to bring his wallet everywhere, because you never know who's going to ask you for ID in a toilet stall. There's lots of places he could put it, but he decides, no, you never know who's going to need to ask me for ID in the toilet stall when I'm doing whatever I'm doing in there. So he brings it with him anyways. So yeah, Smarty decided to leave it on top of the toilet dispenser and not take it out of the bathroom with him yesterday. So anyways, I decided to Google the Esso and the town it was in, because there's probably only one, and there was only one. And I find a phone number, so he calls the phone number, and lo and behold, there was a wallet turned in last night. Weird. What a coincidence. So we were about 2.5 hours at that point before we got there. So little Mr. Stressy here was stressy about it the whole way there. And nothing was gone. Everything was good. He has... What do you have underneath your bum, in your bum, Steven?
Horseshoes.
There's what in your bum, Steven?
Horseshoes.
Yes. He has horseshoes up his butt. That silly, silly child has horseshoes up his butt. And somehow, there's nothing missing. And the wallet's perfectly fine. And yeah, so that happened. That was a great start to the morning. So continue on, get to Regina, and for the last little while, Steven's been complaining that his phone, his special Nokia that he really wanted, because the camera's oh so great, has been kind of crappy, and he's wanted a new phone, and we were due for an upgrade. So we made a super quick stop at a telestore that was near one of the travel centers in... What city was that?
Regina.
Thank you, Regina. I'm really bad with these like Midwest-ish city-ness. Yeah, so we made a super quick stop at a Telus that was near one of the truck centers in Regina. And now I am vlogging on Steven's, because I have to still reset mine, Steven's iPhone 6 Plus. Woot woot!
Yeah.
How does that make you feel?
It makes me feel pretty good that I'm back in the game. There's a lot of trucking apps like Loves and Flying J that there you go. There's a lot of trucking apps, Flying J, Loves, the cap scales that we use to check our weights and stuff that all have that all have iPhone apps and stuff, so I can check fuel prices and find rest areas better and all these things a lot easier. So I'm pretty happy about that, just for that fact that it'll make my life easier in the States to find things and find fuel prices. Maybe there's two stops close together, but one of them is a little bit further by a little bit, but I can still make it with fuel. So if I check the fuel price and then the closer one's cheaper by quite a bit, then I just save a whole bunch of money going to the closer one versus the further one.
Or vice versa.
Or vice versa, that too.
If you think you can stretch it, and you stretch it to get the lower
exactly.
price.
Yeah, if I can stretch it, or if I'm not in need to stretch it, maybe I've got a quarter tank and then I've got enough to fuel, but the next place after that's way too far away. So
you have better comprehension of what's going to be the smartest plan, basically.
Yeah. So I'm pretty excited with that. Google Maps will work a little better, because sometimes the GPS doesn't know where everything is, and Google Maps, I feel like it's updated a little bit better, so it'll give me a little bit more of an edge on like where things are with my GPS, and I can double check and make sure that things are where they're supposed to be, and all those kind of things that don't work on the Windows Phone, because it's just such a new platform that nothing's really been optimized for. It's all optimized for Android and Apple, but because Windows Phone only came to market last year, everything's still kind of like it works, but kind of very half-ass. Same thing with the apps; they mostly work, and
more than last year, 2 years ago.
Yeah. So yeah, it's just not really a popular thing yet. That developers and websites, Google, etc., have made it very popular. It's just you got to go with where the market is. The market is in the Apple world right now. Apple and Android. I'm not really an Android fan, so I went back to Apple just so that I can be back in the game and be able to access all these things that would help me being on the road. Alright,
so that's Steven's spiel. So basically, we did that, and then we grabbed a quick bite.
Pretty yellow truck.
Wow, my face is like really white. We grabbed a quick bite to eat, and then we got back on the road, and now we are in Manitoba. We just stopped at a rest area, and second horseshoes up your ass moment of the day, where you just saved yourself like $25, you said. What happened, Steven? Care to share, or shall I share your lucky moment number 2?
You can share.
I can share. So, stop at a rest area, and Steven's going to check a load, and he uses a, what's it called?
It's
to like tighten the straps or loosen the straps, or yeah, it's just a metal bar that's like really useful. And basically he can't be a step deck operator without. So he goes to grab that, and it's not where he keeps it. Smart boy. Because last night we were busy switching loads and he had to switch some tarps, so he had to undo some straps and tighten some straps and move things around a little bit. So he was using said bar, and he didn't put it back where he usually keeps it, which is basically right behind his seat under the truck, in a little box. It wasn't there. So he's like, well, maybe I put it in the box in the trailer, perhaps. I don't remember doing this. But if it's not there, Leslie, do we have the money to replace it? Yes, Stephen. Yes, we do. But he goes to go check, and there's 2 boxes, one on each side. And box number 1, no bar. Box number 2, no bar. Where's the bar, Stephen? Where is the bar?
Bar is on the trailer, on the deck. It's sitting near the edge. Where it really should have fallen off because of how many turns I made today.
How the frig, pardon my French, but how the frig did it not fall off? We are driving down the highway at 105 kilometers with lots and lots of bumps and lots of turns and lots of reversing earlier and lots of... Why? Like, you should buy a lottery ticket, seriously. Buy a lottery ticket, except we can't because we're not in BC. But if we were in BC, you should buy a lottery ticket.
When we get home, I will.
Because seriously, horseshoes up his bum, ladies and gentlemen. Anyways, so yeah, that happened. Don't have to spend some money on a bar that he didn't have to lose. And now we are heading to a town I can't pronounce, Cochrane?
Not right now.
I don't know.
We're heading to Brandon.
We're heading to Brandon to get fuel, then we're heading to Winnipeg to get DEF, and then we're heading to Cochrane, or I can't remember. Every time I think about it, I forget what it's called. But it's in Ontario. It's a mining town north of Kenora. That much I can remember. And this really it thinks I'm a ghost. It's good on you, but it turns me white. Sorry people, if the coloring on me is really bad in this clip, I'm trying to play with this phone, and like, because it's slightly different than the other, yeah, so the coloring is retarded. I'm sorry, I am not a ghost, I promise. So yeah, we are heading to Brandon, and then we're heading to Winnipeg to get DEF, because he thought he was going to get fuel in Oak Bluff, but he's not going to make it because of the way things just worked out. So we're going to go to Brandon and get fuel, we're going to get DEF in Winnipeg, and then drive as far as we can and max out Stephen's day, and then sleep some, and then deliver in said town I can't pronounce north of Kenora tomorrow, and then drive more, and then hopefully get to Buffalo, New York before his hours run out, because they run out like early morning on Thursday. So yeah, that's the plan, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you enjoyed this first iPhone 6 Plus clip. I hope the color wasn't so terrible for you, and